Hello, War Boys and Mano-Lanterns. Welcome from Burbank, California to Season 3 of the Film vs. Film podcast. I am still your host, Quinn Boys, and I'm joined as always by my human blood bag and co-host, Leonard Smith Jr. Leonard, welcome to Season 3, man.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing you aren't always, and that is the Season 2 champion. That's because it's me, your boy, the reigning champ. He's back. He's ready to drink as much water, as much mother's milk. Pour it all on me because I'm the fucking champ.
Just bringing it up right away. Not even getting through the intro. You're just bringing up old shit.
It's been a couple weeks, man. You know, I got to rub it in. Very excited for Season 3. It's going to be hopefully better than Season 2. I think it will be because we got some amazing guests this season. I'm very excited about our guest today, a friend of mine. She's hilarious. She's got an HBO special, Girl Daddy. Go check it out if you got HBO Max. If you don't, get somebody's password because it's worth it. It's Beth Stelling.
Hey! It's so good to be here.
What's up, Beth?
Thank you for being on the show, Beth.
It's so fun to be on here with you guys. We've already been talking trash for 20 minutes. You have to subscribe to the Patreon to get that.
Yes, we've got Beth on the show, so now we can get a Patreon. It's official.
Yeah, this is really bumping up for us.
Yeah.
We're
we're
swimming above our...
I wish there was a Stelling bump, but I don't think there is. We can hope.
This is a good case study.
We'll find out.
I'm going to add it to my stories. We'll see what happens.
Yay.
First episode of Season 3. This is the prime spot for our big guests. And we are talking this week about... What's the prompt this week, Leonard? Rewatchable movies.
I sent, if you are an avid listener, you know I'll be fucking up. And when me and Quinn send each other the movies, we'll tell each other the movies and then we'll tell the guest. I got the prompt. I almost got it wrong. I thought the prompt was small town movies, and it wasn't. That's one thing we may have offered, and it was rewatchable movies. It's rewatchable movies this week, and I'm very excited. It's a very hard choice because anything, literally any movie can be.
See, it was interesting. I got to pick, right? Like you kind of gave me an areas of these themes to pick, and I chose out of all those rewatchable movies because, to be honest with you, I'm someone who doesn't rewatch movies. I mean, at Christmas time, I'll do Elf and Christmas Vacation.
Those are your two Christmas movies? Oh, Christmas Vacation for sure. Well, you know what?
And Home Alone.
Okay, I was gonna say those are all the top choices. I've just never seen Elf, and I get accosted by.
You've never seen Elf?
You know me. I was a cynical child, and it just looked dumb as fuck to me. And I was like, I'm not watching this goofy-ass, pointless-ass fucking movie, and I just never did. It's
pretty funny.
I heard it's hilarious.
To me, it's like Kimmy Schmidt done right.
The only way I can, the only way I can...
That was actually kind of like a hot take. What a burn.
Ooh.
Sorry.
No, I never thought about it, but you're absolutely right. Will Ferrell is totally playing a Kimmy Schmidt in that movie.
But it's better.
Kimmy Schmidt is doing an elf. Yeah. No, I feel that absolutely.
Like her too.
I guess... I'm not surprised you never watched it, Leonard. I'm surprised that you haven't softened to it in like the 20 years since it came out and has become kind of a new Christmas classic. You're like, it's
never been like really on my radar. Like I know I have sex with a lot of white women, but it hasn't really popped up.
But apparently not during cuffing season.
Not during Christmas time. I'm always single.
You never get invited home for white Christmas.
What's funny is
Leonard breaks up with him just before Christmas so he doesn't have to buy them a gift.
I love smiling. Smiling's my favorite. That's a quote that you could have laughed at had you known.
Yeah, I don't know it. For me, it was always a Christmas Story. I have the Christmas Story lamp like in my room right now.
The leg lamp. You know, there's certain things that as a kid made me feel the ick, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Like that movie made me feel the ick. Married with Children made me feel the ick. Ooh. And Howard Stern, if I ever heard him on TV or coming up on TV. Like, as a kid, it's like, I knew it was bad for women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how I felt about,
Isn't that weird?
No, that's not weird. It's just intuition. But I don't know about Christmas Story. But it is also set in the 50s. So, yes, it probably should give you the ick.
I don't know why. Yeah, it just was like, ugh. And you know what? I'm willing to admit, I think it also was only exacerbated by the fact that my ex-stepdad, that was like his favorite movie. So I think that's some association as well.
Okay.
Because he's total ick.
Yeah, for me, it's Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation for sure, Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation.
Wait,
I'm
hold on.
willing to admit the Santa Claus movies.
Okay, never seen those.
With
For
fucking
me,
Tim.
I just saw the Santa
Told
Claus
me
movie
to.
for the first time, which is very strange watching a 90s Tim Allen movie in 2020.
Bernard the Elf, get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, what that guy's in everything. I'm forgetting his name, David something.
Who
but yeah,
cares?
like
He's Bernard
all
to
the he's just Bernard.
He's only Bernard.
one of my
And that was like when Tim Allen was on top of the world. Tim Allen had like the #1 rated show. He had the biggest movie.
literally
in
was
America.
on top of the
Yes.
world because he was coked out of his mind. Like he was flying.
He kills Santa Claus in that movie, and that's a delightful, warm Christmas film for children.
I always watched Coming to America, but apparently that's not a Christmas movie. But anyways,
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Yep.
Oh, we watched the new one
Everyone
together,
agrees it's
didn't
not
we?
a
Yeah,
Christmas
we did. Yes.
yeah, no, we
Is
didn't.
anyone good?
No, we didn't. I wasn't there.
You weren't there that
I watched it with my roommates. I drove all the way to a drive-in movie theater to watch Coming to America for a special, and it was the day before. I had gotten I drove all the way to fucking I don't even know where the Panorama. I don't even know where the Paramount fucking lot is in wherever the fuck Paramount, California, and it was upsetting. It was very upsetting.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I hope you're recovering.
But anyways, we're talking about rewatchable movies, and
yes.
our two choices are very different. I feel like Quinn's isn't that surprising. Maybe
40-year-old virgin.
40-year-old virgin.
Relating to it. He's lived it. He's currently living it and plans to continue to.
I'm on my way.
Hey man, I'm living vicariously through you, Quinn. I'm gonna get you laid, okay, Quinn?
I don't like this bit. Let's pause this. Abort.
And my movie, I'm not really a big action movie guy. I don't know if people really know that, but I chose Mad Max Fury Road.
Which I had never seen. 40-year-old virgin
Ooh.
I'd seen in college and loved it, blew my mind in the theater. I remember being with all my friends. I remember exactly where we sat.
Yeah.
And when that hair song came on at the end, I was like, this is just icing.
It's like, wait, what is happening right now? It was
Because
so
we did
wild.
hair in college. I was a theater major, so that was already blowing my mind.
Yeah,
But I've never seen Mad Max Fury Road.
it's a newer movie. They're set 10 years apart. 40-year-old virgin came out 2005. Mad Max came out.
Well, they're not set 10 years apart. I don't know
out,
when Mad
they
Max
came out
is set.
10 years apart.
Yes.
Mad Max is set in 2023.
And yeah, I feel like the 40-year-old virgin. I feel like the mid 2000s was this like rewatch movie like time. I don't know, like it was just like Anchorman.
Well, it was the height of the
40-year-old
DVD
virgin,
culture.
Wedding,
Like you could get a movie on DVD a year after you saw it, and then just spin
Dodgeball.
it
I remember like
hundreds of times.
I think it's so telling what DVDs you have. I have like a whole, whatever little box of them. Like there were DVD holders, which is so funny.
Yeah, the CD racks that you nail
Yeah,
into your wall.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mine are like Dodgeball and 40-year-old virgin. I had all these.
Okay, and they're all classics. So I've seen 40-year-old virgin so many times, but I hadn't seen it. I want to say in like 10, 12, 13 plus years, and watching it as a 34-year-old man is so much different. But it's funny on a different level. So it's like I remember always thinking it was hilarious, but it was still hilarious to me to this day. But just like the Romani character, is just
Jay's character? Jay.
Yeah, it's just
Oh my
obviously
God.
my favorite character.
Hurting for a squirtin'? Yeah, I said that.
There are so many, and I'm glad you're hyping it up, Leonard. Beth, I'm glad you saw it and enjoyed it. I figured you might. We don't always choose. Like I just picked that movie, regardless of who our guest would have been. That probably would have been my pick. But I was like, I'm hoping that Beth would have seen and enjoyed this. I don't know if we ever talked about it, Leonard. No. But like this movie was also like life-changing. Well, life-changing is a bit extreme. It was earth-shattering to me when I saw it. I remember being like, oh shit, like I'd never seen an R-rated comedy that like was so funny to me. And I just remember kind of like what you're saying, Beth. I remember seeing it with friends. I remember sitting in the theater in my hometown to see it. And I remember like the specific laugh lines in the movie that got like big responses and like certain deliveries. There are so many lines from this movie that I say all the time, like from the obvious, like, Kelly Clarkson, or whatever, but even there's that scene where they're all going
You
out to the bar
shithead,
the
I
first time.
hate you. You fucker.
Yeah, that's everything he shouts is gold.
Yeah.
But there's that scene where they're going out to the bar the first time before he picks up Leslie Mann, which is another great scene. But they're getting ready, and Steve Carell's wearing this collared yellow shirt.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Is this shirt too yellow?" And Seth Rogen just goes, "No. What's Curious George like in real life?" Like, there's just the little like ad lib lines and shit. It's all so good. And I think that bakes into just a rewatchable experience. You want to like hear those lines again.
Yeah.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it when he's in the sex education class? That might be my favorite line.
Is that a serious question?
Is it? You know, I also think too, like there is something to be discussed, which is because we're all comedians. Like, there's like these formative movies, like an old school also came to mind for me within this grouping. You know, the movies I love that blew me away. That like, it was hilarious. And then, so yes, when you rewatch it, like as long as I went probably the same amount of years as Leonard, you're like, oh, I hope this doesn't disappoint. And it's still very funny, and there's some amazing scenes, and of course, there's a couple of outdated things that happen. But like the interesting thing is I've written on movies now, and I've been in comedy for 14 years, and it's like I definitely am jaded, I think, and sometimes I'm like, I guess okay, sorry, I'm gonna make a point, but it's along the lines of this. You watch those things and they're very formative to you, right? And then there's people who their sense of humor, there's lay people who go on and their sense of humor is just quoting those movies for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
And then you have to advance beyond that and start beating those lines and getting better. And I guess what I'm saying is I've become a bit of an elitist. Like I can't.
That's why you're so funny, though.
I'll think of things and I'll be like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like I'll have to like take it to the next level. Like sometimes I'll think of something like I could write an Easter joke today that's like, every year the egg hunt gets harder. Do you know what I mean? Something about like a woman getting older. Whatever. I can make some joke about that. But it's like, I won't tweet it because I'm like, that's not good enough. It's so fucking stupid. And then I'll look and somebody will have done it and it'll have like 20,000 retweets.
Yeah.
So it's just like, the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's just, the whole idea of all this is fascinating to me, where it's just like time and looking back at these formative movies and like how they are still getting made in a way. I mean, Rogen made that one with Charlize, the long shot?
Or long shot?
Long shot, yep.
Well, which I ended up loving. I mean, things are evolving, I guess, and they always will.
I will say this, the hardest I've laughed in a movie theater was the last time is Good Boys. And
that's so amazing.
Like I was crying laughing, and I'm not lying to you. I was crying laughing. In the movie theater. But I also was like, "Oh, this is so."
How many
sweet.
husbands does she have?
Because it was like endearing, and it was like still it was endearing, and it was like human, and just like the emotion, but it was also fucking hilarious. And then like seeing kids get hit by cars, like, come on.
I have so many favorite moments. I mean, there's definitely like sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe we took it a little too far. We have them like talk about.
If you guys don't
like
know,
40
Beth
times.
wrote on Good Boys, which is
that's one of my last theater experiences because I haven't been to a movie in like a year. I don't know when exactly, but like I remember seeing that at the Grove and loving it. It was hilarious. Yeah,
I love the moment. I love so many of the moments. I mean, and also things that got cut and you didn't get to see. There was this Keith Williams. Who during that VR scene, we have I think it's like Brady comes up from the basement and he's on his left and Keith just goes, what? Like to the other side of him. And I'm like, they didn't keep it in, but it was just him being like these little kids, like finding their senses of humor and being so silly. And the other moment I love is when Stephen Merchant comes to buy the card off of them and they open the door and Jacob's just in the mask, the sex mask.
Yeah.
He's like, what am I?
Anyway, whatever. The point is, you're right. Those types of movies. I mean, Seth produced it. You know,
and this is one of.
And
the
honestly,
classics.
you could maybe call that movie the 14-year-old version, or however old those kids were. I mean, there is a lineage that you can kind of connect for these raunchy, gross-out comedies. And I think what made Good Boys successful is, there's a factor of things, but part of it is like both of these movies are impeccably well cast. Like when you have funny people saying funny lines and then you have an atmosphere, and I know it's become a little bit tired in the decade and a half since. if it's done by the wrong people, but like if you also give the right people, funny people, space to just like riff. I don't know what's ad-libbed and what's written on 40-Year-Old Virgin, but so much of it feels ad-libbed, so that's like kind of, it doesn't really even matter. Not to disrespect the writing, but like if it's a funny atmosphere, you get funny things, and so many of these people are funny and firing on all cylinders that
absolutely
every scene is good. I can't think of a scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin where I'm like, I might
me
skip
and Quinn
this
were talking,
you know? And it's a 2-hour movie. I'm not usually saying like go watch a 2-hour comedy, but like this one doesn't feel its length. It's just funny scene to funny
Quinn
scene.
were talking about that before we got on, just like the structuring and the writing of 40-Year-Old Virgin is great. There's not a bad part, and the casting, all the little bits in between the storyline and how they like pushed off him dating the Trish.
Catherine Keener's
it
character.
just all worked out really well.
She's so good.
What's your favorite, like, just like one little spot appearance, or your favorite little bit, short bit from 40?
I mean, I love Leslie Mann. I mean, I know it's Judd's wife, but she knocks it out of the park.
French toast.
Scene, she has him blowing her breathalyzer, and he's like, doo, 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 doo. And he's like, "Why do you need this?" She's like, "My doctor recommended it."
She might be the best acting drunk person of all. Like, she's very convincingly acting drunk. And there's that thing where she's driving and she's like, because Ben was a man and men jerk off, and he was a jerk off. Like, she's going through the logic of like her failed relationship while she's like steering all over the road.
I love that.
Sex with you.
And then the other moment I love is the when oh god, I can't believe I just blanked on her freaking name.
Jane Lynch.
No, well, I love Jane, but it's
Elizabeth
Dave
Banks?
Dave is played by Paul Rudd, and his ex-girlfriend is played by Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling.
Okay, so when Cal, Seth's character, is speed dating with her, and he's like, "You hurt my friend," and she's like, "I fucking moved. I changed my email address. He's practically stalking me." And Seth's like, "Well, I didn't know that, so I'm sorry." It's like the prequel to this podcast itself. Well, I didn't know that, and I'm sorry. He didn't tell me that.
Just like the delivery of those lines too, because he's keeping a little bit of the anger. Well, I didn't know that, so I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like, he says it still begrudgingly. There's something so funny about that?
Yeah, Seth is great.
Even the part where she's talking to Paul Rudd's character, and she's like, "Dude, like, it's been like, don't stop contacting me. Like,
it's been 2 years.
We dated for 4 months. Like, oh god, it was so good.
I want to make love to you under the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, there are so many good moments. But yeah, I mean, I guess the standouts are for sure the waxing scene. To me, the scene with Leslie Mann.
Yep.
And I also love that moment where Steve Carell's pretending to that he wrote those things after speed dating to cover for Jay. And he's like,
before you got on,
she was
keep
hurting for a squirtin'. I did write that.
It's such a great comedic premise where he just like comes up to him and is like, you need to pretend. Romani Malco's character is like the playboy of their group, and he's getting caught. His girlfriend found his speed dating card, and he rushes into the store and like gives it. Everybody's seen this scene, but he rushes in the store and he's like, and Steve Carell's like, they found your speed dating card, and he has to like, and the best part is there's a moment where being confronted by the girlfriend, like, Andy, it seems like he just goes vacant. Like, Steve Carell is so funny in this movie, and there's so many scenes, but where he starts giving it back to her more than he needs to, and he goes, "You gotta get your bitch on a leash." And then Romani Malco's like, whoa, like, calm down. It's just so, yeah. You go, Leonard. What do you think?
The funniest part about that scene was the fact that Romani Malco made sure he got in that line like, "Oh, she found your speed dating card." Like, just giving him enough information, and then Steve Carell like putting it together in his head. He's like, "Yeah, I see."
And he's just standing there so calm, like he was like just restocking DVDs, and he's just like. But then Steve is a very good actor, and he like beautifully goes from like very stiff to then leaning into it like, "You better hold back your bitch." It's like it's just right on the edge of being like, "Steve, you're not allowed to say that. You can't. Please don't."
Oh, And I do think, like you brought up, Beth, and I'm sure, Leonard, you're going to get to it, because eventually we're going to have to argue against each other's picks. There are probably more than a couple of things about the 40-Year-Old Virgin that don't hold up. Like, you probably wouldn't do them today.
Hold off on that.
Well, I'm just going to try to beat you off of the pass here and say I think a lot of the key to that is that Steve Carell has like a sweetness that kind of makes some of that like not okay, but you're like, all right, I'm still willing to root for this character. But go ahead, Leonard. What was your next?
My next thing is I'm trying to win this episode. Normally we're a little bit more cutthroat in these episodes, but
it's the first episode of the season.
I've added
There's
some
no
sweetness. It's me.
No, 40-Year-Old Virgin was actually a fun rewatch for me. But Mad Max also was great. And
this was my first time, so I'm like, I don't know. I find that.
Yeah. How do you think you would ever rewatch it? Not your type of movie.
Asking her a big question off the top of
long.
your head.
It is
she
long.
says no. That's just...
It is long. It doesn't mean I never would rewatch it. I mean, he eats a lizard up top. That was, and I hated the white powder men. I mean, although I think I'm pretty sure I loved the movie Powder as a kid. Anyway, but the guy like Chris got me into that show, The Great, which I loved. Okay. So I recognize that guy from The Great, the Huzzah guy.
Yes.
So that at first also brought me in because I like that guy, that actor a lot.
Nick Holt, right? That's the war boy.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And so I really loved his whole arc.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And he did it so well.
What, a tree? Yeah, tree. Yeah, that thing.
I will say this, like up top, like when my first instincts up top were just like, do Zoe's nipples need to be this hard? You know?
Yes.
And I also was like, I hate this movie because it's like too high stress. It's like Argo for me in the movie theater. Just like my asshole's tight and I can't breathe. You know, and I'm just like, help! You know, it was too much. I yelled, hurry up. Like I put myself in the position and I get really stressed.
Okay.
Which is why I don't love scary movies in general.
Well,
but I ended up really liking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is not like a I hate it thing. Okay. I liked the movie.
Okay,
but it is a edge of your seat like white knuckle experience. They don't. It's just one long chase there and back, and I've seen it and I have rewatched it, Leonard. So I get why you picked it. But it is a like, ooh, like even if you've seen it, you're holding your breath.
It's stress.
Yeah, it's stress.
But when he pulled off when what's his face? What's the lead guy's name?
Tom Hardy.
I always get Charlie Hunnam and Tom Hardy mixed up.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Okay,
yeah.
So Tom Hardy, when he pulls off that mask, I was like, okay, I get why you guys like this because this man's so fucking hot.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at Zoe's nipples. I'm looking at these women in white dresses, like these. You know, I'm like, we get it. You like it. But then he took off the mask, and I was like, I'm in.
This pick was just funny for me because I've never seen any of the other Mad Max movies. I myself.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah, there's.
They made it 3 with
with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson in the 80s.
They were gonna make this movie in 2003 with Mel Gibson, and after 9/11 happened, and it was like shot in the Middle East, and like it all got shut down because of that. Thank God, because
it wasn't because he said he hated Jews.
Well, yeah. Well, then later they were like, we can't have Mel Gibson anymore in the movie, so then they waited and recast it. But a lot of movies I would have chosen for this category, I've already chosen, for other episodes in this podcast, and like I said, I'm not a big rewatcher of movies, but the ones that I do rewatch would be like Coming to America, which I've already chosen, or like Donnie Darko because I'm depressed all the time, and
Donnie Darko is a wild rewatch. You really are just sad boy Leonard just sitting and crying with a box of tissues and watching movies back to back.
I'm trying to think about what I did this week to cry, but I think it was just music.
For me, it's like Friday After Next, which I've already so all the movies that I feel like I would normally rewatch, I have chosen. So then I thought about this movie, and I thought about when it came out, and I was living in Atlanta selling weed and just like at the house all the time. And I feel like there was like a month period where I watched this movie like 5 times in a month. Like I watched it like once a week. Like it was just so captivating. And there
are like nuances to it that are kind of fun and funny.
Exactly.
Like it's not all like this, I don't know, big blockbuster movie or like I almost said Aaron Sorkin vibe, but like that doesn't make any sense. I just mean like, you know, what is it? Like Larry and Barry are his tumors. I was like, what the hell is happening? You know, like, it's just, there are moments where you're like, this is so weird and fun. And there's, you know, I like the women that she ends up finding. And how'd you feel about the quote at the end? Spoiler alert. Where must we go? We who wander this wasteland in search of our better selves.
I fuck with it heavy because I'm a weird person that knows that when we die, we're going to be dead and nothing happens. So it's just like you make what you want of life. And
I've thought about that obviously a lot lately. I've just been like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like what? You're supposed, like, because you can, and also we have way too much stimulation, right?
Yeah.
Those people were like, a lot of them were just trapped, you know? Like the people at the bottom of the freaking, whatever you want to call it, ravine. Just what do you call it? Serfs or
I don't even know. And like you have to have a better way to distribute water. Why are you? There's so much water is being wasted. It was very upsetting to me.
I think that guy was just evil.
He was.
He got sucked out of his little thing. I was like, yes.
Immortan Joe is a great villain. Yeah. Like that guy is terrifying. And then they put him in that little vanity
part cartoon
casing that has abs carved into it.
Yes, part cartoon, part. It was so weird.
But I mean,
it just looked like a.
If you leave humans out with no sort of system and just let them, I feel like we would get to that. I feel like that could honestly, someone would get to that level.
Can I ask where we would all be in the restructured Mad Max universe that's presented in this movie? Because I'm going to be honest, Leonard, and I'm going to say it for myself before you say
already
it
know
for
what
me.
I'm going to say.
I'd probably be a war boy. I'd love to say that I would be Max
Lakatansky,
but I know that I'd be a war boy, or if I'm really unlucky, a blood bag straight to the top of someone's car, just feeding them positive
I thought
blood.
we were talking about like what we would do if it happened like now, and I'd be like, I'm asleep on the sundial up at the top of Griffith Park Observatory. I mean, what do you mean? But I get okay.
I'm saying, where would we fall if we were thrown into this universe?
I don't know.
I hate to say it. But.
Only black person I saw was Zoe, so I wouldn't be there. I'd be dead, I guess. I wouldn't exist.
I guess. But, or maybe you're on a better fucking planet somewhere.
You know what?
Maybe they finally were like, you get something nice.
I'm probably gonna be at the clan with all the spikes on them. They just look like they were chilling in the caves.
I'm gonna be one of those women, obviously. Yeah. That like
I was gonna say, do you see? Yeah,
I'm gonna be one of the women that Charlize got stolen from. The women who like have some seeds.
The women that she's going to.
But it's like a trap, and she's like naked up in that thing. I'm the naked woman up in that thing. Like
just.
No,
you have to imagine 364 days of the year she's just naked sleeping in that perch, but then that one time that Charlize runs by, she's like, oh, I have a job.
Yeah,
gotta get
I'm bait. I'd be the bait.
Quinn, how did you feel about
the flourishes you're talking about, Beth, that make it kind of like funny? Because it's weird. I think a lot of this, I don't know, I've never been, but I'm chalking a lot of the weird parts of this movie up to just like being Australian. Like I feel like there's some weird stuff with like the guy with the gout foot and the nose that like there's some weird things. I'm not saying people in Australia have that,
makeup
but it
is
feels like
so
humor
good.
that we don't totally.
Like think about how many movies you watch. Like can you the volume, the sheer volume? Whoever did makeup on that deserved an Oscar. If that is that an award?
They won a ton of Oscars.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
If there's an award, they deserve it because think about how many times you watch something, you're like, this looks fucking fake or this is trash, and everything was so good. Like you're like, yeah, that's a guy that's held together by fake abs. Mm-hmm. You know. And, like, those are powdery white boys. Like, whatever they were, you were just like, you believed it.
I just loved it. Yeah, because there wouldn't be doctors.
It did win the Oscar for Best Costume Design.
There wouldn't be doctors. They live out in the fucking desert. Like, I just loved all the little details that they put in. It's just like, it felt real. A lot of things take me out of movies. And I also felt that way about 40-Year-Old Virgin. I was like, you know what? I appreciate this because they did a lot of little things that I'd be like, this doesn't feel real. And the only part in 40-Year-Old Virgin when I was like
what? Wait, hold on. You're saying in 40-Year-Old Virgin that you had several moments where you're like, this isn't real?
No. I felt like there were things where I noticed that I were like, this makes this feel real. Like the part where he's like, he's very quick to be like, oh, this is the card. Or him like talking to the old black couple and you're like, all right, this guy is a sweet guy and he's not a bad guy.
I love the old black couple that lives up there.
The only part that I didn't like in the movie, and they actually like addressed it, but they didn't address another part because I'm such a weird person. When he goes through the billboards, the double-sided billboard on the bike, and they're just sitting in the middle of traffic having this fucking conversation. If I'm I'm like honking my fucking horn. I'm like, call the fucking police. Pull your fucking bike to the side of the road. If I'm the person driving the billboard sign, I'm getting out of the car and be like, what the fuck? Are you okay? Are you going to sue me? Is this your fault? You just went through this billboard. No one comes out of the truck to talk to them. The dude honks at the end. I'm just fucking weird, okay? And that was all going through my head while watching that scene. And it just
obviously they want you to suspend your disbelief, and that's the point of the movies. And then there's just like, it's a movie, so that's not really gonna happen. But I know what you mean. Obviously, I know what you mean because I'm over here. I do that all the time. Like that wouldn't happen, or this person would do that.
But the guy does honk the horn, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of the road!" But it's like after like a 5-minute fucking monologue. So
can you imagine shooting that though? Well, I'm trying to think what they probably did.
They got a side Burbank Street and fucking
Yeah, we shot that highway scene for our boys at an airport hangar. That was an airport.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that scene looking and feeling dangerous. There's something about like the whip of a car going by the screen.
They're going by so fast.
Oh my god! And also that was real barf.
What?
Keith really barfed because he think about kids alone with craft service. They're going wild. You know?
Yeah.
They're drinking, they're eating, whatever the hell they want. They're just so excited, like
milk,
free waffles.
Milk, gummy bears, waffles.
Yes.
Cookies.
Yeah, and so like, respectfully, the DP was like, or the DP was like, I'm going to keep rolling on that.
Everybody step out of that shot.
I'm trying to find this one photo to show you.
I think the what you're saying about like the weird idiosyncrasy, like the weird things that were kind of humorous about Fury Road. Like, can we talk about the guitar guy? I don't even know what it is.
God.
But like the
that
dude with the flamethrower guitar.
I hated him.
Oh, I loved him. Leonard, where did you fall?
I thought it was hilarious. Him like swinging off, and I was like, I honestly liked it and appreciated it because it's like, you need to hype these motherfuckers up who are like, I'm gonna die. Like, it's just like, and music is a huge part of society, and I feel like even in this post-apocalyptic world, there has to be some type of music or like energy, like to bring that energy. So
like it seemed like a weird twisted metal 21st century stand-in for like the Viking like guy who'd bang the drum while everyone was running. It felt like there was a logic for it in this weird universe, but it was also fucking like, who thinks of that? He's wearing like a full like he can't see, and he's suspended forward, so he's kind of like,
think about the whole idea of the blood bags though on the front too. I mean, that's kind of like it was serving that. I felt like as long as he was playing, it was motoring something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, but even though I hated it, I also can't picture life without it.
it talking about that, I have a moment of disbelief.
They pulled all these semis like onto this hangar, and we just all took like photos on them. It was very.
It's a great photo. It just
I'm just like,
a moment where I couldn't suspend disbelief was when he was the flames were shooting out of the guitar. I'm like, if gasoline is so precious, why the fuck is he shooting flames out of his fucking guitar? But it was still dope. It looked cool as fuck, so I can't deny that. One of my favorite scenes, I think why I like this movie so much, being such a stoner for a long time in my life, is you can be high as fuck, leave, sell somebody an ounce of weed, like not pay attention, come back up and keep watching the movie because it's just a chase. Like, it's an easy rewatch where you necessarily.
Wait, did people come to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Like they buzzed you and you went down?
They came to my spot. It wasn't
Leonard,
legal. This was in
the
Georgia.
laziest weed
No,
seller.
this was in Georgia. So I wasn't lazy because I was doing it in the first place. I could have been arrested,
I'm totally kidding. And also,
I was a great weed dealer.
I was gonna say, I bet you were, and I would have come to your house for sure. But also,
people must have,
like,
just been hanging
how did
all
you
day.
want people at your house? Like that's the part where it's like you don't want them to know where you live.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, that's a side.
Yeah, well, that's the Patreon. That'll be in the Patreon, guys. But
I just imagine people wouldn't leave. They'd just like sit down, watch the third act of Mad Max.
You
have to wake them up.
Well,
and then
it depended on the friend level. If you were there were people who were just customers where it's like, come in. There were people who would be like, hey, can we
open
smoke?
The door this
can I
much?
Smoke a bowl with you? It's like, no, man. There are other people on the itinerary. You got to go. And some people, it's like they come and kick it for an hour or two, and while So, you know, some people wanted to be cooler with us than they were. And
you liked the returnability and being able to go in and out and still know what's going on.
Exactly. Obviously, you have to watch it fully at least one time, but then you can just go back, and it's just so fun. It's just like eye candy, and that's not ever what I'm really looking for in movies. I am always looking just for like good writing. I want it to feel real. I don't want it to be pandering. And
yeah, but think about how like that's actually a pretty remarkable thing they did to make something like everybody's dream is to make a one location movie because it's easy.
Yeah.
But then they spent everything else on costumes and
fucking
and all the
I was reading this New York Times article that came out
cars.
last year about the 5-year anniversary, and like but Charlize Theron was quoted saying like, I still have like trauma from like all the crazy physical shit we had to do out there, and like
I bet.
and Tom Hardy was like, it changed
desert.
me. Yeah, like I'm sure it was hot as fuck out there, and they like had to have all these heavy fucking costumes and
water. You had to like make. I have to force myself to drink water in LA.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in the desert?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the opposite of Leo's movie, whatever that was, The Revenant. Like that fucked people up. Makeup was freezing. Like, I mean, literal makeup. So they had to like. There were just so many adjustments to be made for the surroundings.
And I feel like they did a good job where it's like, all right, it looks so cool, but I also like am intrigued in it, and I want to know what happens to these characters. Like you said, the Warboy character, like his story arc is just great. Like
his is the best, I would argue. Like, you know who was disappointing to me, and it could have been in editing, was Tom Hardy's.
It was Tom Hardy.
Because like he bothered me that at the front he's and then he's like, by the end he's like, I'm Max.
That's like, his whole arc. It's like, just building up to saying his name.
Yeah, which maybe is harder than we think. I'm not an actor like that.
I think it's just that he's been out in this fucking world by himself. He's gone fucking crazy. And
there are animalistic qualities to his performance that I can appreciate, because it's a super simple movie. Like the biggest arc might be Nick Holt, the Warboy. Like
his is the most clear.
Charlize, she wants to go home, and then home means going back. So it's very simple. And Mad Max, he's just sort of wants to get away, and
what is that, right? Like, is that so we have another sequel available?
I guess you could read into it. Like, there's that scene when he gets the wrench. You were talking about him taking the mask off, where he's like he's working at that mask they have on his face and the wrench. And I don't know, maybe it's the sound design or what, but he's like really jamming it back there and stuff. And he just seems like a chimp that's picked up a tool. Like, I do think they're hinting at this guy's been on the road for so long. Yeah. Like you said, like the first thing we see him do is stomp and eat a lizard that he's totally forgotten how to socialize. So when Charlize asks him his name, he doesn't even give it. Like maybe he doesn't remember it, or maybe he doesn't associate it with it. Yeah, it's interesting.
And the first thing we see in 40-Year-Old Virgin is him waking up with a massive boner in a kid-like room. The boner was too big. Yeah. The boner was too big.
I was
like, do we know that for sure? Do we know that for sure?
Under those boxers, how long it was out, I was like, this is very obviously a prosthetic. Like, obviously it's a prosthetic, but it is
they were like, oh no, we forgot this prop, and then broke off the top of a broom.
I don't know, guys. I think Steve Carell got that. I don't think it was a prop. I think that.
I will tell you this.
He's like, give me an intern. Just kidding. That was
the first mental note I took was like, all right, the second people I see besides the main character of the movie are black people, and I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And,
they never leave that balcony though.
And I also thought it was funny because it's like you're seeing this character and you're seeing how he lives and whatnot, and you're like, if this was 2021, this dude's like either an incel or he's like some fucking like he's got a bunch of like guns under his bed. But then he comes out and he talks to the black people, the old black couple, and he's like, we're gonna watch Survivor. And I'm like, all right, he's a good white man. Okay, good. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. I will continue watching this movie.
Yeah.
But that's how like dense the movie is with jokes. Like the first shot is him in bed waking up, and the title goes over the 40-year-old virgin, and then he just wakes up and he's got a huge boner such that he can't bend over to pee without it going. Like
it's like just
the joke of being the 40-year-old virgin. Of course you'd wake up with a boner every morning. Like where's that going? So it kind of serves a story purpose, and also we get to see him walk around with a prosthetic penis.
Yes. I wanted him to lean forward into something different than toilet paper. You know, when he had to like lean forward with his boner? I wanted it to be like I don't know, a picture of his mom, or like, you know, where he's just like, he has the boner and the TP is like right in his face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It felt like there was a literal delay. I'm just saying.
We're just chalking up to the Zoom, but yeah, you just speaking about boners with no input from either of us for like 30 seconds. Does anyone know what I'm saying when he has a boner?
You guys are like, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't know what boners are. Never had one.
No,
never had a boner.
I watched the edited version. It's 42 minutes.
But I also think, too, like, at the ending, like, obviously, Steve Carell's character, huge character arc, massive change, payoff, all that. But with the Mad Max one, yeah, disappointing. To, like, disappear back into the serfs or the peasants or whatever you want to call them. Where are you going?
I felt like the only reason why that happens is for the opportunity of a sequel. I just think.
Yes, I agree. And then also, like, nothing was solved really with the voices, like the flashbacks to the children and the people who've come and gone from his life. It's like, okay, we got that. Like, think of Gladiator. We got that. And then we got the final version of that at the end, of his visions, of the people from his past, right? That never really gets tied up with Max's character.
I think it's more just like, it's never going to get resolved. Like that.
And guys, I've seen the first two. They made three. There's one with Tina Turner that I haven't seen, but I've seen the first two Mad Maxes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Beyond Thunderdome. He loses his wife, and I'm trying to remember. I think it's a newborn daughter. He loses his wife and daughter.
Does
but,
he eat the newborn, or
he doesn't eat them yet? He's not at that point of depravity yet. And then the second one, it's structured a lot like this one, where he's helping a group of troubled folks from some bandits, and he's saving them and blah blah blah. But I've seen the movies, and unless there was something in the third one they're referring to, I still don't know really explicitly what those flashbacks are referring to. Like, the little girl is older than his daughter is in the Mel Gibson movie, so I don't think that's who it is, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is unresolved, and it sort of just hints at like traumatic past, but we never learn what that means.
And it didn't make me angry. I was just noting it. I wasn't like, I need to know more, but it wasn't resolved. And then the other thing that's obviously worth mentioning is, I guess we can say kudos to not making Charlize and him kiss or have anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're so
They
used
apparently
to the
did
woman
not-
being a device like that.
Yeah.
They apparently did not get on. Like, I think some of your frustrations, Beth, were Tom Hardy's as well. And I can see this being a movie where it's like you're making it and you're like, this could be
What's
really
my
bad.
direction?
What is this?
Yeah, what's my
usually
motivation?
That's like a joke about actors. What's my motivation? But I get it when you're just like laying in sand and getting kicked. And you're like, what am I doing? I've been strapped to a car for the first half of this movie. I don't know am I not the guy in the title?
That's like a valid point.
Yeah.
Like, that's the interesting thing about like actors of this caliber. Like, I do little things here and there for fun, or get to play little roles that I like, and it's like I'm thankful for them and then very tired. I mean, can you imagine being him, like you're saying, strapped to that forever? And you're also like this upper echelon star who's kind of like, I don't deserve this. Meaning like, why are you doing this to me? I'm fucking Tom Hardy. But maybe he's tougher than I think. I mean, Charlize obviously is.
I think they all obviously saw how it ended, and they're like, this was great, this was amazing. But yeah, I think at the time there was like talk about like Tom Hardy not being, understandably, probably being a little bit like tired of being strapped to a car and being like, is Charlize stealing my movie that is called Mad Max or whatever? But she totally does, by the way. I mean, Charlize Theron's great in this movie, but
she is good in this movie.
Yeah. I was looking at this New York Times article, and what I'm looking at it now, and I can't find the quotes, but like Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy both were like, this changed me. Like,
I'll never be the same. She's like, I'm still picking sand out of my teeth.
Well, let's talk back about the 40-Year-Old Virgin then, because I talked about it a little bit. Like, this spawned, and it wasn't the first. Like, Judd Apatow had made Undeclared, he'd made Freaks and Geeks, he was a producer on Anchorman, but I think like his version of the, because Anchorman I think of as a Will Ferrell movie or a, oh my God, the director, Adam McKay movie. This was like the first very clearly Judd Apatow directed movie, and it made movies of his own for Knocked Up and all that, but also like ushered in a new kind of movie like the Superbads and whatever. And I still think, and maybe this is controversial, I still think this is the best one. Like I like Knocked Up and I like some of Judd's other movies, but like I prefer this, and it may totally just be because this is the first one I saw, and that this was the one that I was like most into. But it started like the genre of comedy that's existed for the last like 15 years.
It was the first one because I would have to look at dates.
It's the first Judd movie, but you could maybe place it earlier. But
and then Knocked Up, and then
Superbad.
Superbad was after. Superbad was the same year as Knocked Up.
Pineapple Express, Anchorman.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Wait,
Pineapple Express.
I think Anchorman came out before.
Anchorman did, but I'm saying Anchorman. I'm separating it a little bit.
I actually hated Anchorman.
Really?
I left the theater.
Still?
That's funny because I hated Talladega Nights.
Interesting, and now I kind of like that one too. Like, Chip, I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit better when I rewatched it, so I can't. Yeah.
Leonard picked it earlier in our show as his most disappointing.
It's my
movie.
most disappointing movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think like this movie. Well, you said "oh no" when I said that, but like, what's your favorite of those kinds of movies? Do you have one that comes to mind, or?
If we're talking about like Judd stuff, like I love Bridesmaids.
Oh, Bridesmaids is great. Yeah, that's Paul Feig directed, but it's definitely a Judd produced movie.
Yeah, but
yep.
Okay, yes to that, but also Superbad is like all-time fave.
Superbad.
Yep, Superbad is great.
I
think
so
Superbad
good. And that holds up like for me, no questions.
God damn.
Like this one was amazing, yes. Like it was good to rewatch, but it was definitely good to rewatch. I had some good laughs, but I think I might have even had a more glowing review if I just like went off memory and how much I loved it in the theater, like we were discussing.
I would agree with that on Superbad as well because I was closer to high school than I was 40. Like when Superbad came out, I was like 20 or something, 21 or something, and I was like, "This is literally me and like my best friend." Like I remember my roommate at the time. He came in and he was a little bit older than me, and he was like, "You have to go see Superbad." And I was like, "Oh, where?" I was thinking I was gonna go see it. Like he was like, "You have to go see it." He's like, "The first 15 minutes literally sounds like you would fill in the living room every day." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he was fucking right. I was just like, "This is great." So.
I love that. So fucking good. And I love Michael Cera. I love Jonah Hill.
Yep. Jonah Hill, who I don't think we got yours either, Leonard. Beth answered her like best supporting character or best bit from this movie, but the bit where nobody understands, this is probably what dates the movie the most. Nobody understands Catherine Keener's job of selling things on eBay for people. Yeah. And she's got a storefront where she keeps the wares, but she doesn't sell them out of the store. She has to sell them on eBay. And there's that scene where Steve Carell finally asks her out. And standing behind him is a young Jonah Hill, and he's holding these two like disco boots. I don't know what you call them. They're like sequined long disco boots with goldfish in the heel. And he's like, "I love these. I'd like to buy them." And she goes, "Oh, I can't sell them to you. Sorry, I know." And then just his like annoyance where he's like, "I know, I'd love to get these home and like wear them, but you're making that very difficult for me." It just cracks me up every time. Yeah,
that is a really great moment. You're right. It's so funny.
And that was like 2 years before Superbad, where Jonah Hill became like Jonah Hill. Everybody knows Jonah Hill.
Well, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get into this criteria that's no longer criteria, but our talking points actually.
We can still call it criteria, but yeah,
it's not criteria.
We're gonna break this movie down in, well, I guess really 4 parts. The 5th part will be the final.
Oh wow, we didn't even talk about. We're just gonna have to eliminate it, I guess.
Just do it all on the fly. We're just talk about the 4 parts of this movie that we like to specifically get into. Leonard, the first one, what we always do is what? It's been a long off season.
Is it pop culture or is it
pop culture? That's right.
Pop culture.
Pop culturally, what's had a bigger impact? And we could talk about that from any number of things. I think we just did
40-Year-Old Virgin.
But I agree with Beth. It's got to be 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Because we haven't really had enough time. Where's Leonard going? He's going to get his Mad Max Fury Road cardboard cutout.
He's going to get his guitar that shoots flames.
He's plugging in his computer. But there's no doubt 40-Year-Old Virgin. But also you'd have to say, and maybe I'm wrong, like when did Mad Max come out? But there just hasn't been enough time for it to have a cultural impact. Because it's come out since I've lived here. I remember seeing the billboard.
Yep, I think Leonard maybe handicapped himself.
Sorry, I had to plug in my laptop. It's not that. Yeah, it's for sure 40-Year-Old Virgin.
We covered for you.
It's for sure 40-Year-Old Virgin. Mad Max doesn't have. It's not that type of movie where it would have. There's not even that much dialogue in it to where you could use it. I feel like all the pop culture references from 40-Year-Old Virgin is the dialogue. Like, feeling like a bag of sand. It feels like a bag of sand. Or like...
Yeah, tits. I love them. Dude. I love
tits. Real nasty. Oh, we like to fuck. You don't know how many times... I don't know how many times I've said... Pussy on a pedestal? Don't put the pussy on a pedestal.
Don't put the pussy on a pedestal.
It's so stupid. And I wasn't having sex.
Dick will imprison you.
It was so funny. Because when these movies came out, I was a virgin. I hadn't had sex. So
I was fucking for sure.
I was not fucking. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I think we've gotten into this on the podcast before.
I know that. Oh no, yeah. I've been fucking for 20 years, bud.
Yeah, I wasn't fucking until like I was 20, 21, but then
Loser.
I made up for it.
I like like Cedric Yarbrough has like that one scene from Reno 911. He has that one scene when they're doing the Q&As with Steve Carell's wife. Like he took his girlfriend's daughter to like get informed about sex anatomy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, my daughter is, for lack of a better word, dumb. How do I stop her menstrual process? And she's like, you want to stop her from menstruating? He goes, just until she's out of college or something. Like he's got a lot of, and then there's that line. That kid is like, I prefer vaginal intercourse. Like, there's every other line in this movie I've quoted at some point.
That might be my favorite little bit. Also, the fuck a goat. And, like, when the guy gets upset at him the first, you fucking bring this ringer here? And you fucking just, like, so mad. Oh, so good.
Why are you always telling me to fuck a goat, man? That's...
Yeah, so pop culture, it's like Judd Apatow, it's Seth Rogen, it's fucking Steve Carell. Like, there's no Elizabeth Banks.
Other than Guitar Guy and maybe Charlize's shaved head. I don't know that there's that much. We'll see in the next 10 years. And Zoe's nips is now something. Yeah.
100% Zoe's nips.
Do you think there was a dedicated crew member for Zoe's nips?
Yeah. She's like, can I get a fluffer for these nips?
I think it was Rachel what's her name?
Dolezal.
No. I said her character.
She was one of the people going for water.
Damn, I can't even. Who played Rachel on Friends?
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, she had Jennifer Aniston's
nipple fluffer.
She had the nipple fluffer.
I thought you were gonna say someone in the cast had like the Jennifer Aniston Friends haircut. They gave one of the Morton Joe's wives the Jennifer Aniston Rachel cut.
Oh boy.
So pop culture goes to 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's not that big of a... But here, this one, I think, might be more difficult. Our second talking point, our second criteria is how well did these movies hold up? So this one, Mad Max is at an advantage for only being
40-Year-Old Virgin for sure loses this.
Oh, yeah. We have...
How do I know you're gay, Leonard? Because you say that this loses pop culture.
Yeah, and the whole... And also just making, like, the Middle Eastern guys say we're not Al-Qaeda.
Yep.
Also, there's a T word in there.
And also, we are looking for drunk bitches.
Yeah.
I want a little throw up in her hair. I want a broken heel. I was like, God damn, are we? And then they try to like take it back. He's like, no, I don't mean it like that. And it's like, it sounds like you do.
It kind of like you did. We talked to like your next guest is Emerald Fennell, and she's like, well, the inspiration for my film Promising Young Woman was 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
No. There's that great delivery where he's like, I don't feel comfortable tackling drunk bitches. Like Steve Carell like spits it back out. You can't say that. That's
what I felt like that part was. I did laugh at that line, but it still was like it still feels so wrong. But
yeah, it's like it just goes to show that like obviously it is influential in the way that like you guys watched it and then you didn't go out and date rape people, but you absorbed it. Like it just those things, it is important, which is why I love how many times we hit it in Good Boys, like consent and my mother is a businesswoman. My mother's a businesswoman. Like, I mean, yes, I did write that, but also I just like how much like feminism we infused into it, you know, for these little boys, because it does make a difference. It doesn't mean it's going to make you do something, but messaging is important and it's real.
Yeah, as great as he is, I would say, and Paul Rudd has some tough moments as well, but I would say like the Romani Malco character as a whole doesn't hold up well at all.
It doesn't.
Like,
it just sucks.
He was at the time he was like cool player who maybe gets in over his head, but now he's like cautionary tale.
I don't think they were trying to
and
make
also,
him. I don't think they were trying to make him cool. I think guys just thought he was cool. I think they were trying to be like, all these dudes suck in a different type of way.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think you're right. They did all suck in a different type of way. So I am glad that they were all equal opportunity suckers.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about making the black dude a stereotypical like player.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Because
he goes, but then again, Seth is just as bad.
Exactly. I wasn't mad about it. I was just happy that there was a black character in there.
Yeah.
And which sucks. It sucks that I have to be happy that there's just a black character in there. But there's a black character in there. And I know dudes who are like that. So it's like, it might be a stereotype as it was written, but I know people who are like that and who are out here fucking and cheating on their girlfriend, and they're terrible people. And
and I just dated him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. That was a bit. But he did say he knows them, and so I had to infer. I'm looking for reasons.
But what also sucked about it is I resonated the most with that character. Some of the things he said were just funny, and I was like, damn, that just sounds like some stupid shit that I would say for a laugh, but also has some truth based in it. But
he was great. I would argue that Cal was probably the worst towards women. Seth's character, when he's like, we didn't mention the scene with Elizabeth Banks, where she was great in that scene. I love her in that scene because it's the perfect '90s outfit, and I love that it's just like her natural body, like it's not these huge fake tits. Like she just looks good, and she's totally enamored with him just asking questions. I don't know.
That scene is so funny. Scene is, and then how it doesn't work when he's trying it later. But that's
also another thing that I remember thinking was wild at the time, and then rewatching it again is Seth Rogen's character just walking into the bathroom with her like all at her apartment. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh yeah, you're
but
right.
But it's like they're made.
But he's also the character who was like, you wait for it to grow into a plant, then you fuck that plant.
That was a funny fucking line. Holy shit.
And what does Romani Malco say when they show up to save him? He goes, "I hit it 3 months back, never gave back the key." Or something. It's like all of this behavior is
a little bit too wild for me. He was like, "I don't think you're ready for this, man." Okay, all right. This is a little
if we're gonna knock Seth Rogen. Wait, I'm sorry.
We have to knock
Paul Rudd's character is absolutely stalking.
I think
Mindy
he's
Kaling.
the worst.
Also, he's so
the
hard.
worst
Where he's
character.
like, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Well, but whatever. That's her journey.
She wants to fucking blow everybody on the NBA, the Lakers.
I was gonna say he's the incel.
Yeah, he's the
we
worst
love him
one
because he's Paul Rudd, but he's the worst one probably.
Yeah.
He's the worst one. But I can't lie though. That line where he's like, if I hear Yomo, what is it? If I hear Yamo Bay one more time, I'm shooting everyone. I'm going to burn this place to the ground. It's like, yeah, he truly is the incel, but it's funny.
Paul's character said that?
At the beginning, he's getting tired of hearing Michael McDonald in the fucking store.
So, like, I guess if we had to vote on who's actually the most immediately dangerous to women, it's Paul Rudd.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is where we are going to ask you a question that's going to be very tough. But out of the 4 characters in the 40-year-old,
we can all answer this one, but yeah, it should go to Beth for
who. I want you to rank on who would you date, 1 through 4.
Okay.
Start with one.
First?
Who are you dating first?
I mean, you're right. It is so hard. They are all bad, and also it's hard not to conflate them with who they are as a human, and me being attracted to them as humans.
Yeah.
Like, because Paul Rudd is beautiful, and so is Seth. I mean, Seth's a cute, funny guy, so it's like hard to separate them from their characters. But characters only.
Yes.
I'm going to date Jay first because he's like hottest and probably fucks well. Then Steve, because it would be fun to like just be like, you're a dildo. So if you could just sit there. And then, what's his character's name? Steve's character?
It is. 1 second.
It doesn't.
He's
Andy.
Andy, isn't he?
Andy, yeah. Okay, so Jay, then Andy.
And then you either have
Then
David or Cal.
Then I guess Dave, and then Cal, and I would do it in that order because
Cal over.
You can't do Dave last. You have to have Cal last to defend you from Dave.
Okay, I was like, what's the logic on that? Okay, I get it. Okay, for sure. I
would probably go Paul Rudd myself. I just feel like Paul Rudd is he's dreamy in this movie. No, I'm putting Paul Rudd first.
What?
Yeah, I can deal with the stalkery stuff. Just make sure it doesn't end poorly. You're good.
He's like, you don't have to
There's
worry.
no choice but to end poorly with this character.
Yeah, probably.
Quinn's not going to blow any guy in an Escalade. So
No, I'd never do
I
that
love
to
that
you.
he added that it was in an Escalade. She blew some guy in an Escalade. That's what I heard. For me, I feel like I'm dating Andy first. Because he's cool. He has interests. He has hobbies.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
And I feel like it is funny, the whole argument, because me just being a man watching it and being like, wow, she's really changing this guy. And he's like, you're changing me, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
oh, yeah.
we kind of suck, but, people want companionship, so you got to change. It is what it is. But I feel like it's going to be Andy.
We'll find out this week on My Life.
I feel like, Andy, then Cal would be second, then Jay would be third, and then
And
Paul,
this is just ranking in dating order. Then
yeah.
Okay.
If we're just fucking, I'm fucking Jay for first, for
Same.
sure.
But here's fuck, marry, kill is
Okay, let's do fuck.
Jay is fuck.
Okay,
Mary is
don't include Andy. So fuck, marry,
Why?
kill.
Mary's Andy 100%.
Yeah,
No,
you would
that's
marry
what makes
Andy,
it
wouldn't
easy. So no Andy.
Fine.
Fuck, marry, kill.
I'll
Jay,
marry
Cal,
Cal, I guess.
Marry
Is he'll
Cal, because he
maybe
seems like it will be
grow
fun
up.
and interesting. Yeah, and he might grow up.
And he's kind of a cutie.
Yeah.
Okay. And then kill Dave.
Yep, that's the same for me.
Unless he does it first.
I'm fucking.
He'll probably kill himself first.
Well, if he's killing
Okay,
himself,
now-
he might kill you too. So I don't know
That's true.
about that.
Now,
Motor
same
suicide.
question for the guys chasing them in Mad Max. So there's Immortan Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
There's the guy
Bullet
with
Tooth.
gout
There's
foot.
Bullet Tooth.
There's the guy with gout foot, and then there's the dude in the tank who's blind, who's just shooting his
With his
machine
bullet,
guns
he has
at everybody.
bullet teeth.
Bullet teeth.
Remember-
You're right. I'm
but
sorry.
guys, what about the big man? Remember who's like, Dad, I had a brother. He's like the
Yes.
Well, we're all
You can
fucking
throw him
that
in
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we all
fucking that guy.
We took him out because
Yeah,
he would
so
so clearly
Immortan
win.
Joe,
Yeah. And I'm marrying the little war boy. Probably. No, I'm marrying Mad Max. Duh.
Oh, okay.
What
She's
am
like,
I
I'm not
thinking?
even using your criteria. Nope.
Sorry.
You'd have lizard for dinner every night, but
Lizard again. My husband never cooks.
We eat it raw. Okay. Holds up for sure. Yeah, it's for sure Mad Max.
is Mad Max.
Now, for season 1, the third criteria was Samuel L. Jackson in this movie.
In it.
We went through the entire season without having surprisingly not having any movies with Samuel L. Jackson in it. And then season 2, I had a movie with Samuel L. Jackson to it, but we changed it. So we did the last episode, Samuel L. Jackson movies. Quinn chose fucking Snakes on a Plane, and it won him season 1 thanks to fucking Roderick Benson, who's an asshole.
Rod.
And beat out Django. Like, that is the most...
Snakes on a Plane beat Django?
Yes. He said
Wow,
it was...
why? I've never seen Snakes on the Plane, but
Yeah,
I just said
you don't
the
need to.
plane.
You don't need to see it.
Like a grandparent who's like, I've never seen
Snakes
Snakes
on
on
the
the plane.
Have you seen the snakes on the plane?
Do you guys want to go to Panera's later?
Season
watch Snakes
2
on the
was Gary Oldman. In the film. We did not pick any movies with Gary Oldman, but in season 3, man, I feel like I don't think he's been in any movies yet. He almost would have been in a movie next week for me, but I went a different way. Is Steve Buscemi in either one of our films? Sadly, he's
No.
not.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's an
arguably
easy-
he could
easy
be,
no on this
he
one.
could
Yes,
be one
where-
of the little powder boys.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask, where would Steve Buscemi be in either one of these films? So
he
he'd
would be
a-
like not needing makeup as one of...
Yeah.
Oh,
It feels harsh to say, but he already looks like one of the weirdos chasing them.
No.
I would even put him. I might put him in the tank.
yeah, exactly.
or-
I think he's too old to be a war boy. I think he's the bullet tooth guy. That's where I see Steve
Yeah.
Buscemi for sure.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi, there's a long list of funny comedians, or even like Catherine Keener is not known as a comedian.
She's funny, though.
But she's hilarious in this movie, and so I think
Right.
Steve Buscemi would fit right in.
And 40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Maybe have him go in, try to buy a speaker, get into some trouble. I don't know, but
Yeah,
you
or
could
at the
very
bar.
easily envision him.
Try to join them at the bar.
I would see him-
pretend
Oh,
that'd be
He
good.
was their friend.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be funny. I would.
It would be funny if they had a fourth friend. It was just old Steve Buscemi. I don't know what his perspective
I was just about to
would
say.
have been.
I feel like I would want to see more of him. So I would want him to be a salesperson on the floor, like kind of like another Jane Lynch, kind of like he just pops in and out. Jane Lynch was great in this.
They invite him to poker.
My door's always open. Okay, we also didn't talk about Kevin Hart, the Kevin Hart scene.
I knew that was going to be your pick for the best scene.
Are you going to be my nigga or my nigga?
Wait, how do I not remember this?
Oh, it's Kevin Hart like accusing Jay of not being black enough because he's not giving him free stuff or like giving him the homie discount.
I must have I didn't.
You looked at your phone. You looked at your phone during
That's
this part.
crazy. No, and by the way, I watched it twice because Chris kept freaking talking the first time. And distracting me, and then the second time I was alone.
Okay, and you missed it both times.
I missed it both times.
Is it possible? I think it's definitely in the theatrical version of the movie because I remember we talk about things that didn't hold up. I remember the button line on that scene getting a huge laugh and also being something that you wouldn't
do anymore.
I don't
remember that.
Today's forecast, Leonard. Do you want to say that line or do you?
I can't even think of it right now. Just say N-word.
It's one of the guys who goes. They're arguing. This is before he was Kevin Hart, like before he'd blown up as like Kevin Hart. And he comes in, he's like, I want that free discount. And Romani Malco's like, absolutely not. And they're just getting into it. And so there's two black men arguing with each other in the store. And then they cut to Jane Lynch, who's standing next to one of the Middle Eastern guys that also works there. And he just pops in and he goes, today's forecast, dark and cloudy with chance of drive-by. And I remember that line in 2005, like brought the theater down. Like it was just in a probably mostly white theater where I was watching it.
Yeah.
Huge response. So I was wondering if you
you
don't remember that line, Leonard?
I remember it now, but I couldn't think of it until you said it. And I'm a person. I don't give a fuck about stereotypes or people being upset. It is fucked up, but I find that hilarious.
They gave that line not to a white person. At least
it wasn't a white person.
Be like,
at least it wasn't a white person.
But then, like, not to get too whatever. But then again, it goes back to I'm sorry, I'm taking us on actually a major tangent, but I'm going to keep it to one sentence, which is, I hate Woody Allen. And it would be like saying, oh, at least they gave the power to her. And it's like, okay, but he wrote it, directed it, and started it. Yep. So you can give it to the person, the non-white person, to say it, but what you think they're going to be like, Judd Apatow, no?
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, yes, you're right.
Anyway, sorry to divert.
But yeah, it for sure is not good.
I remember the first time I worked with a man who was producing something that I was hosting and leading. And I remember it so well because he kept reminding me, don't say anything that you wouldn't say. And it was like so refreshing and such a good reminder. And I just will always love that man. Because you just like, for so many years, you're just like, yes to this, yes to that, yes to this. And you just say whatever the hell you're supposed to say. I'm on a showcase this week. It's called Ha Ha Hotties. You know what I mean? Like, you're just showing up for the stage time, not being like, no, I won't participate in this. So the reminder of, you don't have to say it.
You don't have to say it, people. You don't have to say it.
But for so many people, they do, because they're trying to come up. And
it's
they
tough.
took the role and they wanted it. Yeah.
Okay, so no Steve Buscemi. Four is...
So the ultimate takeaway from that lovely way of phrasing it that Beth just put out is Steve Buscemi in this movie.
Let's move it along.
Somebody needs to choose Happy Madison. Or
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore?
No,
Billy
I'm
Madison?
sorry. No, Daddy.
Big Daddy.
No, what the hell?
Daddy's Boy?
No, it's one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. And it with Winona, when Chesterton, Fieldville, Iowa.
Oh, Mr. Deeds.
Thank you.
Mr.
What the hell?
Deeds. Holy
Mr. Deeds.
shit, Mr. Deeds. Yo, that was probably...
We haven't had a Sandler. Have we picked a Sandler movie for any of our prompts, Leonard?
I
almost chose a Sandler movie for our next week's prompt, and I did it.
He could support his own episode.
You could do best Adam Sandler movie.
That's going to happen this season. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We're there.
Every episode this season is just me. And next week we're doing Adam Sandler movies.
Beth, if you want to just spit out like 9 prompts you want to talk about, we'll just block out a day. Okay, so what's our fourth?
Statistics.
The fourth one is it's easy. It's nuts and bolts. It's sort of box office reviews, whatever we think, and then we will get to the much anticipated moment where Beth picks what she thinks is the best movie submitted by other of us
movies.
is. But do you have box office information for your movie, Leonard? I've got some stuff pulled up.
I've got both of them pulled up. I guess I'll just go ahead and start with Mad Max, which is available on HBO Max, as well as Beth Stelling's comedy special, Girl Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them back to back.
Yeah. They're best paired together.
IMDb, we got an 8.1 for Mad Max. Rotten Tomatoes is fucking 97%. That's wild.
Wow.
Pretty fresh.
It's way higher than the audience score, which is wild. The audience score is 86%. It sold. Okay, I'm only seeing the budget for the movie was 154 to 185 million. I felt like I feel like that is a lot of fucking money.
That's so much money. We made ours for so much less.
But honestly, it looked like it was expensive. But anyways, more expensive than that. The box office was 375 million. So that's a pretty good takeaway.
They made some, yeah.
So they made,
But think about all the stars in that. So they
Yeah.
must have just worked for a reasonable price.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the budget's kind of low for what it was, but I honestly thought it would have made a little bit more money than that, but that's a lot of money. So
That's a lot.
Should also be, I'll throw in, help you out here, Leonard. It won 6 Academy Awards.
Ooh, okay.
Best editing, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, sound mixing, and sound editing. So
They
it won like
fucking
all the
knocked it
technical.
out.
Yeah, like I said, it's fucking
And
eye
can you
candy.
imagine sound with whatever those vehicles that were running? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure, I don't even know how to begin doing the sound on that. You're in basically what was probably a covered semi of some sort, and you have to get their sound. I mean, get out of here.
Yeah,
Being the actor on that alone would make you not want to act for years. Unless you have to be so in love with acting. To me, I'm like really annoyed when they have to like run the thing. I mean, I don't hate the sound people or something. I'm just like, day in, day out, having to like do the makeup. She didn't have an arm. Like, it would be so much. The point is, I turned down the role in Mad Max Fury Road. It went to
You were going to be Imperator
Charlize.
Furiosa?
Yes. And I didn't want to do it. I was like, I can't handle the day-to-day. Give it to Charlize. She loves this shit.
What could have been?
like you said, all those awards is why I love rewatching it. It's just beautiful to watch. It's fun to watch. The scene where they're like, there's just so many great aspects of the chase scenes, and like my favorite part is when the dudes are all on like the bending tall sticks.
Yes.
It's like that shot
You're
where you see
right.
the 4 of them and they start coming down and they're like throwing and the old lady gets
You're right.
cut, and oh god, that's like my favorite part. It's just so cool.
Ooh, when that old lady gets cut,
Yeah.
she just like sits there,
Just
she's
like drops.
Nope.
Just like, oh, fuck. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, those sticky things are great.
How did 40-Year-Old Virgin, those 40-Year-Old Virgin do as far as box office and statistics wise?
So the margins were smaller on both ends. It was made for $26 million. Steve Carell was like the biggest star in it at the time, but he was like season 1 of The Office.
Yeah.
It was before The Office had even taken off, which is
also
why I
produced
think,
it.
yeah, he wrote it and he produced it as well. And obviously Judd Apatow, this was like the beginning of him just going straight up, although he'd been working for a while, obviously. It was made for $26 million. It made $177.4 million.
That's great.
For an R-rated comedy that was probably
that's
not
great.
released so wide outside of the U.S. as would a movie like Mad Max be, but like pretty good. It was huge at the time. I don't know if it was like the record for R-rated comedies, but it was. I remember it being like a huge summer for R-rated comedies. I think Wedding Crashers came out the same year, and we've already talked about that movie. That movie does not hold up as well, but like both of these were huge movies, and I remember 40-Year-Old Virgin kind of being like the king of the summer comedy that year.
No awards.
Awards, I don't have
Yeah, I don't think
any.
they-
Like, it didn't win an Oscar,
Isn't that
but
so
this
funny?
movie never
Comedies,
would.
Yeah, comedies just don't.
They
win
don't.
Oscars.
They don't win awards.
I
me
remember
look
watching
at-
Old School and being like, Will Ferrell deserves an Oscar, but I was only like 22.
7.1 on IMDb, and its Rotten Tomatoes is loading. 85%, which is pretty good. And 84% is the audience score,
Okay.
so it's
Interesting.
dead even, basically.
Those are pretty
I think
low.
that feels right.
I mean, thought it'd be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Classic.
guess it's like a comedy. It feels like the margin. Like I set expectation. Like no comedy has a 97%, like Mad
no
Max
way.
would, because I just feel like there's always people that are like, it's not for me. Like there are people that like once they lock Andy in the store, with porn playing on the screen probably would just be like, I'm out. I don't like smutty comedy. And it feels like that percentage might account for like the 15% that we don't see in that Rotten Tomatoes score. But I don't know. It feels pretty good. I'm curious what Superbad, like, just because we talked about like that's the other like, I
feel like
everybody
Superbad
loves
made a buttload of money, right?
Yeah,
well, the money I don't even know, but I'm curious what its Rotten Tomatoes is, just because we talked about it.
Are you looking it up?
88. So yeah, like even Superbad, which like everybody loves, is only 88.
Rotten Tomatoes is 88.
Yep.
That's so crazy to me.
There's just people out there, like, I feel like R-rated comedies, they're like, it's raunchy and I don't like it. That's like the more conservative minded.
I would like to know, like,
viewer.
I don't know, who votes on these things, because I don't.
Oh, man, Superbad. I fucking love that movie. Anyways, all right, so, I mean, I feel like both of those, statistics-wise, they're actually pretty good. Usually one's way worse than the other.
Yeah, these are both, judging by different, you know,
I just looked
there's
up
different...
Good Boys out of curiosity because I never did it, and it's 86.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
it's technically better than 40-Year-Old Virgin.
80 audience is 86.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Can't argue with the people.
No.
I think some people just don't like virgins. That's what I think it is. They weird people out.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the point where we give our final arguments for our film for the prompt, which is most rewatchable. Quinn, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first, Leonard.
I mean, I hate to say it, but my mind's made up. But maybe you'll sway me. My mind's made up. What's that song? My mind's made. Oh, okay, I got it. Sorry.
Okay, are you going to tell us who is it?
I was thinking
Glenn Hansard and Marketa Iglova, and it's from that movie Once. When your mind's made up.
I don't know anything you just said.
It's like this Irish couple, I think.
Okay.
When your mind's made up. I think you're going to want to watch it if you're ever sad.
What's the movie? What's the name of the movie?
Once.
Okay.
I remember coming out here in love with this guy that I met in college. He moved out here to be an actor, and I was like still in college, and I like was so in love with him. His name's actually now tattooed on my back because I ended up dating him years later. So I got what I wanted. But at the time, I remember trying to get him to watch it, and I'm just like this freaking 20-year-old that's like, watch this love movie, and he's like, how about Bonanza? And I get high. Okay, anyway, sorry.
You have a man's name tattooed on you?
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by that.
Yeah, I genuinely just love it and don't regret it, and I'll never change it.
Because it's a fun story, for sure.
I have a great joke about it.
Okay, well, there you go. That's all that matters. Wow.
Oh.
That's pretty big.
Yep.
Wow.
Is that his handwriting?
Is that his signature?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. You really were in love. You really were in love.
He was my college love.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Good to know. We'll talk about that. That'll also be on the Patreon. I'm going to talk about, you know what? Both these movies I feel like are great. I enjoyed rewatching both these movies. I feel like in today's day and age, Mad Max is the better rewatch because, you know, we're on our phones, we're getting on apps, we're distracted by shit, we're pausing, we're coming back, we're picking up Postmates. Mad Max, you don't necessarily have to pause the movie for any of those things. If you were trying to watch fucking 40-Year-Old Virgin, you got to sit, give all your attention to it. You got to commit to those 2 hours, and if you want to pause it,
filmmakers are rolling in their graves.
They're rolling in their graves right now. This is the only argument I think I can truly make right now. So you got to pause the movie. If you really want to truly watch 40-Year-Old Virgin, you got to cut out some time. It may take you 3 hours. Now, Mad Max is also long, but you can sit there and never pause the movie. If you've watched it once, you know what's happening. You can have some fun. You can have it in the background. You can get high. You can have some drinks. And just look at these beautiful people out in this hot desert, and look at these ugly people get blown up. And you know what? It's a great story. It's action filled, but it also has a real feel to it. And though Tom Hardy's character, you don't really understand anything about him or why he's even really there, he's still handsome and fun to look at. And I think it's a great rewatchable movie.
Interesting that you end on Tom Hardy being handsome, which I don't disagree with, but also Charlize Theron is in this movie, and she's like one of the most beautiful people, right? I mean, she's rough looking, and like, I mean, literally they make her look weathered, but she's still Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Is that the end of it, Leonard, or did I jump you? Sorry.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. What am I going to say? 40-year-old virgin needs... I guess I just take issue. I think one of the first things you said, Beth, was Mad Max felt long, which I don't disagree with. Mad Max is 2 hours on the nose. 40-year-old virgin is 2 hours and 10 minutes. But you said Mad Max felt long. And I think that's because of what makes, in my mind, 4-Year-Old Virgin like the perfect rewatchable movie, at least for me, is that it's very loose on plot. I mean, the plot is suggested in the title. It's about a 40-year-old virgin. So at some point he's going to lose his virginity. But in between, it's just filled with great bits. And now you can pause the movie if you have to get up to sell weed or whatever you're doing with your life. But you don't have to. You're not going to miss anything. You're not going to come back and be like, who's this person? You pause it because there are so many funny, rewatchable scenes with, like, sometimes one actor just gets one scene, or like Jane Lynch has like a bunch of scenes, but really like 3 great moments that they just scatter in over like 2 hours and 10 minutes. And that's the joy of it. You would pause it because you don't want to miss anything, not because you can't miss it for the plot. So I take issue with that, Leonard. And then I guess the other thing would be the other part that Beth said, which was that Mad Max is kind of a stressful watch. I love this movie. I don't think you're wrong to pick it. I do rewatch Mad Max, but I wouldn't rewatch it any time necessarily.
No,
because,
only when you need diarrhea.
Yeah, if I needed to force out a BM, but on Mad Max, I just think it gets your heart rate up. I don't maybe want to watch that on a lazy Sunday, but I can watch The 4-Year-Old Virgin if I want to laugh. I could watch it if I'm feeling sad because it might bring me up. I could watch it with friends, or I could watch it by myself because I have a lot of my own associations with it, that it's not just that I need to watch it with a crowd. So I think actually just in general, comedies for me are more rewatchable. It's interesting. You guys both say you don't really rewatch movies. I rewatch movies all the time. I don't reread books. I guess I do rewatch a lot of TV. But
when
like,
you don't read books.
I don't know how to read.
That's why
I don't re-listen to audiobooks. No, yeah, I do rewatch a lot of movies. So maybe, Leonard, you are ceding your ignorance in the beginning by saying you rarely do, because I just think you were a little off the mark this time. I think if you're going to rewatch a movie, you would probably rather rewatch
I'll talk more about that once Beth makes her choice.
Her decision.
Which she said her mind was made
exactly.
up. Beth, did we sway you, or are you still...
You can explain to us why you felt the way you did, or what
or
criteria,
you can crush Leonard now if you want.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. Now, I enjoyed both of them. You know, I really did. Like I told you, I begrudgingly... I don't know if that's the word. I was irritated at the beginning of Mad Max because I was like, what are these fucking powder people and these nasty-ass deformed men? Fuck this. And they're trapped. And anyway, so I hated it. But then I grew to love it, and it was entertaining. It was just too stressful. And if I'm going to rewatch anything... by the way, this wasn't like a snap, easy decision or something, but my choice is most rewatchable movie of these two is 40-Year-Old Virgin.
For sure. For sure.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Beth.
Hey, man,
I felt like
Quinn
it was
needs a
leaning
win.
that way.
Quinn needs a win.
It's good to get off. I lost last season, as Leonard mentioned, right at the top, so it's good to start season 3 with a win.
Strong.
And a win.
You started season 2 out with a win, too.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Started season 2 out with a win, so I'm not worried.
We'll see.
So Leonard still has me in his life.
That's
so
true.
He wins too.
I only have this moment, Leonard.
I never want to see you again, Quinn.
Well, Beth, you didn't choose mine, so I won't be seeing you ever again. I'm joking. This was a tough, because Quinn made his choice. Quinn always makes his choice before me.
That's a game, man.
Yeah, I can never make a decision on anything in my life. And
Same Z's.
And when Quinn makes a decision, it makes it easier for me to pick a movie, and which is kind of fucked up, but he is the way it just works out that way. And when he chose 40,
you're putting the prompt on a pedestal, Leonard. You're putting the prompt on a pedestal.
Stop putting the prompt on a pedestal.
When he chose 40-Year-Old Virgin, I was like, I don't know
what
comedy I could choose to beat this. And
Bridesmaids.
I've never seen Bridesmaids.
Oh, Leonard.
So
you just lost again.
Yeah.
You just lost week 2.
And I wanted to choose Harlem Nights, but I didn't want to pull Harlem Nights out and have it fucking lose to this. How Coming to America lost when I chose Coming to America. That still hurts me that Coming to America lost its episode. So
to what movie?
To fucking
Batman Returns.
Batman.
That was best. Tell her why you picked that movie, Leonard, and she'll know why it lost.
It was
Leonard submitted it as a Christmas movie.
No, it was a Christmas movie that's not considered a Christmas movie.
And it's not considered a Christmas movie because there is no Christmas. Batman Returns, there's like Christmas trees and shit. And Leonard picked his favorite movie.
There's also like people like sexually assaulting people in fucking...
Snow doesn't make it a Christmas movie. You could pick The Revenant. It's
okay, but a lot of those people were Christians.
But anyways.
See, that's the argument he needed on the day.
So I tried to pivot and just go another direction, and it didn't work. And I kind of knew it wasn't going to work. But it is what it is. I don't rewatch movies like that.
Me neither.
And
you guys clearly have too much going on. I got nothing to do all day. I'm just rewatching movies.
I've got 3 more meetings after this. They're lined up at the back door.
But yeah, you know what? Congrats, Quinn.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Beth,
Thank you,
where
Leonard,
can we
begrudgingly.
where can we find you?
At Beth Stelling, and in this kitchen. For the rest
You can find
of my
Beth
life.
in her kitchen, and definitely check out Girl Daddy on HBO Max.
Yes,
and everywhere where can't you find Beth? That's really the question.
I got a Netflix half hour called The Stand Up, season 1, episode 5.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I got those are the only 2 I really like.
Don't you have a show about to come out?
I'm working on that now. We'll see.
Oh,
Fingers
okay.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. Okay.
But I am typing it into Final Draft right as we hang up.
No, not the show with Ed Helms.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll be on Rutherford. Sorry, that made me.
That's what I was talking about.
My show. Okay. Sorry.
Imagine just forgetting a show with Ed Helms. I mean, that's when you know that you've got a lot of stuff going on.
Sorry. It's called Rutherford Falls, and it's on Peacock, NBC streaming, and it's Michael Schur, Ed Helms, Sarah Teller Ornelas joint.
Yeah, it looks funny.
Amazing.
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it.
I'm excited too because I genuinely think it looks funny, and let's get real. The scene I did with Ed, that you'll see, I think it's in the pilot, is one of the funniest moments of my life and the coolest probably moment of my career / especially acting career, but just comedy career in general. And it was crunch time, and we were end of day, needed to get it done, and it involved me eating something sexy and choking. And it's truly nothing beats breaking him. Do you know what I mean? Making him laugh.
Yes,
it's so I mean, it was the highlight of my life.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
whatever, my career. There's
That's
family
what's up.
members are the
Ed
highlight
Helms
of my life.
Ed Helms is hilarious. I feel like he's my favorite character from The Office. So Andy Bernard's my favorite character from The Office. So it is what it is.
He's a nice guy.
Nice. Next week we will have Eric Edelstein on.
Love Eric.
Yeah, he's a very sweet guy. He is a big voice actor. He's been on a bunch of shows, but he's on the Baby Shark Nickelodeon show. He's on the Brickleberry show. He's on a bunch of stuff. But we're gonna be.
I might have listened to him on Rod and Chris's thing.
Yeah. I met him through Rod. We're doing best under. Wait, do we announce? We don't announce it.
At this point, you may as well. You're just going all the way.
Oh, I'm fucking up.
It sounded like you were going to say best underwater film, so let's go with
Yes,
that.
best
underwater film.
Best film with a man in underwear, and Mark Wahlberg is not allowed to be chosen. He beats up people. Okay, I'm sorry.
Next week we'll be talking best underdog movie. We may as well just spit it out now.
We're doing
but
best
this week, what a way to kick off season 3. It's been amazing. It's been so fun just talking about the movies we picked and about all manner of other things with you, Beth. Seriously, thank you so much for being on. It's been a pleasure. Thank you doubly for picking my movie. And that's
just
it for me.
Venmo me what you asked.
Yeah,
me.
I got your handle. Don't worry. The money's in the mail.
He paid me, Leonard, to pick his. Millions.
I believe it.
There's nothing in the rules that says I can't pay.
Now, here's the great part, Quinn. We can actually start seeing people at the cinema.
That's true. We can see them at the cinema. Our sign off. I would get vaccinated. We'll all go see Mad Max Fury Road.
How about we all go see Mortal Kombat?
Oh my God! Yes, I will.
Do you want to go? Well, we'll see how things.
Yeah. Yeah,
we'll see if
I don't know.
Allowed, but I mean,
I don't know if you've heard. There, I literally have chosen Mortal Kombat for a movie for an episode, and I have done the Mortal Kombat theme song on this podcast at least a dozen times. So
you can't get him to shut up about it. That thing from the trailer where he stabs the guy,
and it turns into blood, into a knife.
Freezes into a knife that he stabs him with again.
Yep.
That's cinema.
Lit.
That's what I look for.
Cinema.
We'll see you at.
Leonard and I are cinaists, so we know cinema when we see it, when we smell it. All right, this is amazing. Thank you so much again, Beth. Thank you everybody for listening and sticking through in season 3, and looking forward to kicking your ass the rest of the season, Leonard.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too.